do in alphabetical order by country. That is something that we've done from the beginning to help shift and kind of sometimes mix up the typical really stiff protocol procedures. We try to create space for you to really talk openly and vulnerably, and there will be the round table that is, just the first ladies, and we'll have opportunities for you to just meet each other. So let's start off by hearing all of your voices and hearing something that you're hoping to achieve or learn or strengthen while you're here this year, and we'll start with Angola. And if you want to speak in Portuguese? Okay, so there are, what channel? Okay. Oh yeah, and remember to press the button to unmute your mic, which I think you've done. So let's let everybody get their earpiece in.
Thank you, Cora. Bom dia a todos e a todas presentes nesta sala. Uma saudação especial às nossas companheiras primeiras damas que vêm para esta academia pela primeira vez, e um abraço muito fraternal às primeiras damas, minhas irmãs e amigas que já estiveram aqui o ano passado. E para mim foi um prazer, um grande prazer estar aqui outra vez e estar a conviver com elas e com as novas senhoras. Eu chamo-me Ana Loures, sou primeira dama de Angola. Eu talvez, para começar, gostaria de agregar um elemento novo naquilo que é, digamos, o meu foco e a minha dedicação. Talvez por razões profissionais, eu escolhi como minha área de atuação o desenvolvimento integrado e inclusivo das comunidades. E tenho, ao longo destes 8 anos, trabalhado com as comunidades, fundamentalmente com os jovens, em particular as jovens meninas, criando oportunidades nas suas comunidades, empoderando a própria comunidade e fazendo com que elas sejam parte integrante do processo de desenvolvimento, tanto que elas próprias se auto-empoderem. Trabalhando na educação, na saúde, no ambiente, mas este ano, portanto, talvez por força de algumas experiências ocorridas durante este período, eu tenho dedicado uma especial atenção às crianças, porque concluí que o nosso futuro, o futuro dos nossos países, depende da forma como nós educarmos, cuidarmos das nossas crianças desde a primeira infância. Fui confrontada com algumas situações no meu país sobre maus-tratos, abusos às crianças, e então eu estou neste momento focada nas crianças. Portanto, trazendo-as para, dando-lhes voz através da arte, da música, da cultura, e, portanto, e até na própria escola. Então, este era o elemento novo que eu trazia para partilhar com as nossas companheiras aqui presentes hoje. Aposta na criança desde a primeira infância. Muito obrigada.
Thank you, madam.
Hello everyone, I'm Anna Kokan from Armenia, wife of Prime Minister of Armenia, and I'm really excited to be here. This is my first year as and I'm looking forward for the whole program. Last year, I launched a movement in my country. It is called Learning is Trendy. It means that now, I don't know for how long, I am and I will be focused on education. But as a first lady, I decided to be a role model, not just to urge people to go to education or to speak about how important is education, but also by myself to be a role model and example. And that's why I'm really looking forward to learn here during these 3 days, to learn from my colleagues, from first ladies, from their experiences that they will share with all of us, to learn from the professionals that we will be happy to hear. So this is all about me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Kim Simplesaro. I am the wife of the former Prime Minister of Belize. I've known Cora for probably the 16 years that the Global First Ladies Academy has been in existence. I have to congratulate you and your team on the pivot that you've made in the changing the Global First Lady to Global First Partners Academy. It's an important one as we sit here today and listening to your delivery. It really sends a powerful message. And as we want more inclusion, and as you rightly state that much is expected of us as females, while our male counterparts, it's if they don't want to show up, they simply don't, and no one holds them accountable. I'm here because I really want to continue my contribution to the growth of the Global First Partners Academy. I think that the work that you do and has been doing for all these years have certainly been significant. At least it helped me during my time in office to focus on the current issues, and when I needed to pivot, I did. And so my contribution will basically be to listen, to learn, to share where I can, and to help wherever I can with the growth of the Academy. Thank you.
Good morning, this is Heba Mustafa, Minister Plenipotentiary at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Egypt. I'm currently the Deputy Permanent Representative of Egypt to the United Nations here in New York, and I've been honored to be assigned to attend the Academy this year on behalf of Egypt's First Lady, who was unable, unfortunately, to join this August group. And as a New York-based diplomat, allow me to welcome Their Excellencies, the First Ladies, to this important gathering. And I don't know if it's mere chance or destiny, but I've always worked on issues that relate to social norms, to women, advancement of women, children, and how these impact societies. And I believe, yes, these are hardcore issues, although they look as if they are soft core, but they are not. The women in Egypt are considered, not only in public statements, but also in policies, to be the backbone of society. They are the carriers of values in an intergenerational manner. They are a source of resilience to the community and to the whole society in face of challenges and crises, including economic as well as other types of crises. And they have been a cornerstone in weathering many storms that we are facing in our region, as you rightly mentioned at the beginning, and they held the society and the country together and played a very important role in that aspect. So I would be reflecting the official and the soft part of the discussion, being trained on those issues also, and being aware of how the dynamics are in my country, and I hope to learn and to send back what I learned back to Egypt, and also to be a source of maybe some information, not necessarily evidence-based, as you mentioned. I'm not a scientist on social issues, but at least I hope I will be able to bring some positive contribution to this August gathering. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Morning, everyone. My name is Rosana Briceño. I am the spouse of the Prime Minister of Belize. I really learned a lot last year, and I actually was pretty excited about returning, especially because I'm very much aware of the global issues that are surrounding us, and whether it's issues that we think are not related to us, in the long run they do affect us. And a small country in the Caribbean, Central America, because we're a little bit displaced, trying to figure out, but we get the best of both worlds. So I really enjoy the camaraderie, the sharing, the networking, and also it helps us go back to be more effective in our roles. And presently, what we're doing in Belize, we're talking about menopause, something that's very taboo. Women do not want to talk about it. They suffer in silence. We might be freezing right now, and in another while we'll be sweating. And trust me, I'll notice. We know who we are. We feel like heat coming up all of a sudden, and I'm like, gee, we're dying here. And everybody's freezing. So we're talking about that right now. It's one of the programs, among others, that we have rolled out this year. And it has become very, very informative, because we realize that women many times don't know how to access services that we have in place, or they're not aware that they don't realize that they don't have to suffer. You know, that there is help out there, and we're rolling out this program throughout the country. We started in the most southern part of our country, and we're going up. We're going to cover the entire country in a couple of months. So I'm excited about that program. I'm here to share whatever I can and learn as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Lucrecia Peinado, spouse of the President of Guatemala. This part I don't like. You say spouse of, partner of. Yeah. Okay, but it's like that. So I really appreciate the invitation this year. I shared earlier with Cora that I was quite sick this weekend. So, but in 36 hours, I took all the things that I needed to get out of that viral stuff. But this could be a 3 or 4 days recovery period, but it went out in 42 hours. But I believe there was motivation. I needed to be here. And I wanted to be here because last year that was my first time. I was so excited because one thing that I enjoyed so much was the energy in the room, all of you, all your experiences. It really energized me, and all the passion that you have also, you know, infected me, you know. And also all the great experience of those of you who have been in this role longer than I had at that time. And now it's 18 months for me, so then it was less than a year, I guess. So the networking and meeting incredibly powerful women was so good for me. So also finding out we share common issues. So it was like, oh yes, we're on the same conditions. Was energizing as well, because all of us have done so much with so little, and also being very clear that the high expectations that society has about us with no resources, that was also very, it was empowering the sense that I'm not alone in that area. Then in the academic area, I think that the high level, the quality of the content was very good. One session after the other did not disappoint me. I learned several, although I had been working in development, mostly health issues for more than 30 years. Really, I learned a lot of new things, new topics that I continued exploring. I used a lot in the soft power that is not so soft. Yeah, so that I learned and I continue educating myself about that. I love the networking, and I have enjoyed meeting some of you in other arenas, as well. Like finding you and say hello, see you again. That's been really satisfying. So, and then I continue working with at policy and national level with for and with people with disabilities. Also programs with for the elder daycare programs for the elders, and primera infancia, early childhood. Thank you. Not enough coffee this morning. So so early childhood. We also are working to strengthen these programs of early childhood, as well as strengthen programs to support women, improve their income. And now this year initiating a national campaign for mental health. So those are the 5 areas that we've been working with my team and the secretary of the First Lady Secretariat that accompanies me today. That actually, that's the name of the Presidential Secretariat, but has no support for it. It only has the name, but support for the First Lady it doesn't have. But we do work like a big team. Yeah, so it is really great to be here with you again. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. What a pleasure it is to be here with you this morning. My name is Eliza Reid. Just call me Eliza because I come from Iceland, where we're all on a first name basis. I am the former First Lady of Iceland. My husband served as president for 8 years until August last year. So I'm just in the first year of my post-First Lady life. Unfortunately, I was never able to attend this academy in person, even last year when I was serving as First Lady. I did take part in a number of events with the Summit of First Ladies and Gentlemen, which has a lot of European-based first partners as well. But I've known of this work that Cora and Nicole have been doing so well, and so many others for so long. So I'm really excited to be here. When I served as First Lady, again, I, like many of you, came into the role not knowing up from down a little bit, and being very intimidated by the fact that there's no rule book on how to serve as the spouse and a head of state. But gradually over the 8 years that I had the pleasure of serving, realizing that also having no rule book is empowering in and of itself. Because if you have no rule book, you can't break any rules. You can kind of do what you want. I focused a lot on sustainability and tourism. Iceland obviously relies a lot on tourism for our economy and was named a UN Special Ambassador for Tourism and the Sustainable Development Goals. I also continue to work as First Lady a little bit. I'm a writer, and I run an annual writers retreat in Iceland, and I continue to do that. So I spoke a lot about writing, and that was an initiative I launched. So I talked a lot about entrepreneurship, innovation in Iceland. And as you may hear from my accent, I was not born in Iceland. I was born and raised in Canada. And so I like to speak a lot in Iceland about the importance of multiculturalism and the importance of diversity. When I speak in Icelandic, I have an accent and I make many embarrassing mistakes in my grammar, and I've made many of them now in front of cameras and hundreds of people. And I wanted to show that that doesn't mean that I don't have something important to say. Now that I'm in the post-First Lady world, I'm really excited to be here to see old friends, but also to have an opportunity to discuss with those of you who are entering that world of the post-First Lady, how we can continue to leverage that network, because I think that it is so incredibly valuable, and it's what, as Cora said earlier, we don't have, there's no set of rules. If there's no guidelines on how to serve as First Lady, there's certainly no guidelines on what to do after that. And I feel like there's so much left of my professional life that I want to build on that, to build on what I've learned and what I've done and my networks to continue to do good, not just in Iceland, but elsewhere. And so I'm hoping that's something that we will all be able to discuss today, and I'm looking forward to the inspiration that I know I'll find from all of you here. So thank you very much.
Eliza, I just had a vision of a First Lady's writing retreat.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
When you spoke, I forgot to mention that I because I said I was a writer, and I actually have a memoir of being First Lady coming out next spring. So I hastened to write a book about the experience.
I think like I was also sort of, I'm going to be maybe next year. Not next year, this year maybe. Maybe we win again, we have elections in September. So whatever happens, I'm encouraged, I can still have next year. Yeah. So like everybody has been sharing, I also just want to share that when you come in, you're like green, green, green. You don't even know where to start from. But for the past 4 years, I've also been encouraged by the other First Ladies, as we have made, whatever you do is really helping us to think outside the box. What can I do? So like I come from Malawi, which is a very small country, very poor, and all that. So I went into education because there are some bright girls that they go to secondary school, but secondary school they have to pay fees and people can't afford. So I started out by fishing out all those that were almost dropping out of school, and I think we've done really well. Some of those girls now are in medical school, so I'm like really very proud that we have achieved that so far. So I'm into girls education. At first I said just girls, but then there were some boys that also were interested. So we had boys as well. And I wasn't doing much else except that, because I would say like that's what my life was. I was also almost dropping out of school at home too. Save the children, save me. So I'm educated. So I thought I would do that for boys and girls in Malawi. And our population is the young generation. I think they say 80% are under 55. So it's the international that is very important. So that's what I've been involved in. But I'm a woman, so I had women empowerment as well. I think we were doing well. And now, after COVID and stuff, mental health is a big problem. So we will be going into mental health now. Whether I win or not, I'll compete with, as first lady, I don't know if it's a law or what. You have to have an organization that you can work through. So I started an organization that we are working through. It's logistically okay, so that you can account for funding or whatever groups in the country. So I started an organization. I have to go on even after. So if you see me coming back next year and we didn't win because of that fellowship that we have, encouragement that we did good here and we put up on the screen to even more and even better after we win something. So I also went into women empowerment, and I think we are also doing that, and we will be going now into mental health because of all this that happened. We are having a big problem in that area. And actually, because of the problem that we had, my daughter decided to major in mental health. So I will have somebody who can do that. Yeah, she's here at university doing mental health, so that will help me. So, background, I'm an accountant, and if you know accountants, we don't do programs. We just see where is the money going and all that. But I've learned a lot the past 5 years that I've attended this. I've also been helped a lot, and my brain sort of like opened wider than just figures. So I think we're doing well. Yeah, thank you very much.
And Mrs. Chakora, there's an example of someone who's about to transition, potentially. I hope you win. I hope you
We
win.
may not, we have a chance of another 5 years, but
So-
you never know what happens. That's
But-
the elections, yeah.
Yeah, and so this session being focused on the legacy and the former, you'll have a lot of guidance.
Yeah.
Bom dia a todos. Sua Excelência, as minhas irmãs primeiras damas, caros representantes da Organização Internacional e parceiros de cooperação, minhas senhoras e meus senhores, é com grande honra e entusiasmo que participo pela primeira vez na qualidade de primeira dama da República de Moçambique nesta terceira edição da Festa de Academia. E dizer que nós estamos como primeira dama há cerca de 6 meses. Meu esposo foi eleito no dia 8 de outubro do ano passado. Começamos com a missão desde o dia 15 de janeiro deste ano. E durante esse tempo realizamos muitas atividades. Primeiro porque conheço perfeitamente o nosso país, que é Moçambique. Eu estou nessa missão na política, queria dizer melhor, desde os meus 19 anos, porque o meu esposo foi administrador do distrito, e na altura eu tinha 19 anos de idade, e já comecei a praticar esta atividade de ser mãe do distrito. E trabalhamos no distrito cerca de 10 anos, depois passamos para um outro distrito na província de Cabo Delgado. Primeiro trabalhamos na província de Nampula, depois fomos na província de Cabo Delgado. Também trabalhamos há algum tempo. E depois meu esposo foi eleito como governador da província de Inhambane. E lá passei a ter mais funções como esposa do governador da província. No distrito era só apenas um distrito, na província tinha que gerir 14 distritos. E percorremos todos os distritos, conhecemos as dificuldades da nossa população. E agora, como primeira dama, tendo já experiência desde um distrito a 14 distritos, agora todo o distrito do nosso país. Decidimos abraçar a área social. A área social é vasta. E na área social temos como bandeira a saúde e a educação. São dois pilares fundamentais. Sem a saúde, ninguém consegue fazer nada. Se nós estamos aqui reunidos, é porque estamos bem de saúde, entre aspas. E também a educação é fundamental para uma sociedade, a educação é fundamental para um país. E nesse contexto, decidimos oferecer bolsa de estudos às raparigas vulneráveis, jovens e, sobretudo, meninas que são órfãos de pais. Porque eu também sou órfã, perdi pai muito cedo e senti na pele a dor que a minha mãe sentia para nos fazer estudar, o sofrimento que ela teve. Às vezes tínhamos que escolher ou se almoçávamos ou se jantávamos. Ela tinha que poupar dinheiro para conseguir comprar caderno, comprar caneta, entre outras coisas. E sendo primeira dama, temos muita facilidade e abraçando esta causa de dar bolsa de estudo às raparigas, estaremos a garantir que muitas raparigas do nosso país, Moçambique, continuem a ter acesso à escola para garantir o seu futuro e não só o futuro da comunidade em geral. Se uma rapariga forma-se e torna-se professora, ou torna-se médica, torna-se engenheira, poderá cuidar de muita gente. E as bolsas de estudo não são apenas para as pessoas vulneráveis, também começamos a dar bolsas de estudo para o pessoal médico e enfermeiro, porque temos poucos especialistas no nosso país. E dando bolsa para fazer a especialidade, estaremos a curar a nossa saúde dentro do nosso país. Também estamos a fornecer kits de autoemprego aos jovens, raparigas, para poderem começar um negócio e não ser dependente, não só ficar à espera de casarem para ter poder de compra. O melhor marido do mundo é a sua profissão e o seu emprego. É por isso que decidimos. Porque o emprego nunca vai te bater, nunca vai te insultar, mas o marido sim, não é verdade? E também estamos a apoiar as pessoas com deficiência, dando material de compensação, são cadeiras de rodas, magatianas, boletas, ovos. Também estamos a dar as máquinas de braille para poder aprender a escrever. E também estamos a apoiar e visitamos igualmente as mulheres que estão presas. Porque elas estão presas sim, cometeram algum erro, mas precisam de um amor, precisam de um consolo humano. E eu, como mãe do país, mesmo que a pessoa tenha idade, tem que abraçar e dizer que estamos juntas, errou sim, não continua a cometer o mesmo erro, porque a sociedade está à espera. E nessas visitas que tenho feito, constatei que a maioria das beneficiárias de Moçambique não tem condições. Algumas mulheres dormiam no chão. E algumas mulheres entram lá grávidas, dão parto. E na primeira beneficiária que visitei, encontrei mulheres com bebês a dormirem no chão. Isso chocou-me bastante como mãe, como pessoa. E decidi visitar todas as cadeias femininas de Moçambique. Estamos a visitar, estamos a oferecer colchões para todas elas. E também estamos a oferecer kits de dignidade. Além disso, também estamos a construir casas. É muita coisa em pouco tempo, mas graças a Deus estamos a conseguir. Estamos a construir casas para crianças que são chefes de família, que perderam seus pais. Também estamos a construir casas para idosos que não têm condições, idosos que estão a viver em casas precárias, que não têm paredes, apenas tem algum pauzinho, e a outra parte da parede é só plástico. Estamos a construir um pouco por todo o país. Lançamos recentemente a campanha nacional para a angariação de fundos para a construção de um centro de saúde do tipo 2 na província de Sofala, concretamente no distrito de Bus, na localidade de Lucha. E graças a Deus também conseguimos ter algum apoio para iniciar com esta obra. Iniciamos a obra, fizemos o lançamento da primeira pedra há 2 semanas atrás. Este centro está numa localidade onde uma criança nasceu com deficiência por falta de um centro de saúde. E esta criança é só um exemplo. Temos várias crianças naquela localidade, na província do país, que nascem com deficiência por falta de um centro de saúde mais próximo da sua residência. Este centro vai ajudar não só a família do menino Miguel, também a comunidade circunvizinha. Naquela comunidade, para encontrar um centro próximo, é preciso percorrer cerca de 30 a 50 quilômetros. Então, imaginar uma mulher grávida com dor de parto. Será possível percorrer essa distância toda? Se nem 1 quilômetro, quando chega o dia de parto, a pessoa já não consegue levantar a perna para andar. E 50 quilômetros é muito. Estamos a fazer isso e queremos pedir mais apoio para conseguirmos construir mais centros de saúde para as nossas comunidades. Assim iremos aliviar a dor das nossas mães. Iremos garantir que nenhuma criança, nenhuma mãe mora no dia do parto. Que nenhuma criança cresça sem ter algum cuidado médico. Esse é um dos exemplos. E também nós trabalhamos com os nossos líderes comunitários. Os nossos líderes comunitários são as pessoas que conhecem melhor a comunidade, sabem melhor qual é a preocupação da comunidade. E nesse apoio, nós estamos a oferecer um meio de transporte, que são as bicicletas, porque a bicicleta não precisa ter combustível. O combustível é o próprio homem, é fácil. E com esse trabalho está-nos a ajudar bastante, porque estamos a conseguir reduzir as uniões prematuras. Os nossos líderes estão a trabalhar, estão a sensibilizar a comunidade toda para que não haja uniões prematuras. Isso é de louvar. O grande desafio que nós temos no nosso país neste momento é o assunto da desnutrição crônica, concretamente na zona centro e norte do nosso país. Muitas crianças estão desnutridas por falta de boa alimentação. E para melhorar isso, nós decidimos oferecer lanches escolares em todas as escolas primárias. É um projeto que já fizemos. O que nos falta é patrocínio para iniciarmos. E como é que iríamos fazer isso? Primeiro teríamos que implantar uma cozinha em cada escola. E as mulheres da comunidade local iriam confeccionar os alimentos e fornecer à escola. Ao mesmo tempo, estaremos a resolver 3 problemas. Primeiro, que é nutrição nas crianças. Segundo, a retenção das crianças nas escolas. E terceiro, estaremos a empoderar a mulher. Temos muita coisa que estamos a fazer, eu não me alongar e gastar tempo das outras. Queria dar espaço às
esposa do governador, a província de Nampula, que me acompanha, só para acrescentar um bocado, porque ela foi ministra da Saúde, entende muito bem essa matéria. Esperamos aqui acolher muita experiência das outras primeiras damas que já estiveram cá desde o início e de todos. Muito obrigada. Meu nome é Gueta Thiago, primeira dama da República de Moçambique.
Obrigada, mamã. Bom dia a todos. Meu nome é Nazira Abdullah. Eu primeiro queria agradecer à nossa primeira-dama por me incluir nesta delegação e agradecer também a Cora e a Lorca na medida em que fomos trocando correspondência. E eu queria acolher tudo o que a mamã Gueta disse, o programa que ela está a fazer. Nós, as outras esposas dos governadores, estamos também a fazer a réplica. Realmente não estamos preparados para este papel de ser esposas do líder mais alto da província. Eu queria agradecer à nossa primeira-dama, porque quando ela tomou a decisão de levar uma esposa para acompanhá-la nas visitas, eu disse, não, eu sou nova, nós somos 8 cônjuges. Eu disse, eu quero ser uma das últimas porque eu não estou preparada para ser esposa do governador. E então deixem-me preparar-me, arrumar a casa, o palácio, lidar com o staff, aquela grande pressão. Mas calhou-me que eu estaria nesta delegação. E realmente era esta a formação que eu precisava. Porque eu não estou preparada para ser esposa do governador. Lá chamo esposa, a primeira-dama. Então, nesta formação, pelo programa que eu fui lendo e aprofundando, eu acredito que vou sair com muitos conhecimentos das que já participaram e das novas, aquilo que estão a passar, mas também dizer que estou a aprender muito com a nossa primeira-dama, porque, como ela disse, eu nunca estive no âmbito político. Então, os primeiros 6 meses aprendi muito com ela e estou a implementar aquilo que ela também está a fazer. Agora, qual é a minha expectativa nesta formação? É aprender a ser a primeira-dama, esposa do governador na província de Nampula. E temos 7 milhões de habitantes e temos muitos desafios. Nós vamos trabalhar com o programa estratégico da nossa primeira-dama, mas a província de Nampula em si tem muitos desafios. Somos 7 milhões de habitantes, somos propensos a muitas mudanças climáticas e, como a mamãe dizia também, a mamãe Gueta, temos a questão da desnutrição, temos a questão na área da educação. Então, a minha expectativa, a minha esperança é que haja justiça para todos, para as crianças, para as mulheres, para os jovens, que tenham uma vida digna e que tenham mais acesso ao mais básico para viver uma vida digna. E, como a mamãe dizia, temos que abranger a todos. Nunca ninguém pensou incluir, pelo menos durante o trabalho que estamos a fazer no país, esta componente das mulheres que estão encarceradas. É pela primeira vez. Então, nós, como das províncias, teremos que fazer a réplica. E estamos aqui mesmo para aprender, mas para finalizar, eu só queria transmitir. Há uns tempos atrás estive em Memphis. Eu sou de uma fundação, associação dos pais amigos da criança com cancro, e tivemos um programa em Memphis e lá fizemos um trabalho em grupo e perguntaram se cada um de vocês tivesse um superpoder, o que é que gostariam de mudar no mundo e como é que fariam. Todos foram falando e eu só disse, olha, Eu gostaria de ter acesso a todo o dinheiro que é gasto para as guerras no mundo e aplicar nas nossas áreas sociais. E aí teríamos um mundo melhor. E muito obrigada.
Thank you. My name is Monica Ginkos. I'm the third First Lady. That's how they designated me, the third First Lady of the Republic of Namibia. And I was in the Middle East and introduced as the third First Lady. And then one of the women came to me and she said, "So how many wives does your husband have?" Former First Lady of Namibia. It's an incredible pleasure to be here, Cora. I'm not going to speak too long because I will be speaking on the stage. But when I looked at the profiles of all the First Ladies who are here, it really speaks to the incredible capacity. But it also speaks against the stereotypes of First Ladies, of people who don't know anything, who don't do anything. The opposite is true. And I'm here to really share the story of the day after, what happens the day after. And I can really already conclude by telling you that I have taken all of my staff, increased it probably by 6 times, bigger budget, and more work in terms of programming. And I'd like to share some of the lessons that I've learned in how to get that right. But I just want to tell you something. It's normally used for presidents, but the assumption is that your predecessor, the person who comes after you, is an idiot, or before you is an idiot, and your successor is a traitor. So in someone's eyes, you're an idiot, and in future you'll be a traitor to somebody. And just to share some insights around that as well. Thank you.
Good morning. Oluwemi Tinubu from Nigeria. I guess the First Lady of Nigeria. I'll be speaking tomorrow, so I have a lot to share. But being the first partner in a country like Nigeria with over 50 million people, different tribes, religion, languages, culture, can be quite challenging. And traveling through most of the states in Nigeria with the challenges we're facing when it comes to insurgency, terrorism, and a lot of things really put you in a very tight position, especially when you have this title without entitlement. It's quite tough to really do something. But for me, I find that quite challenging in the sense that I try to become quite innovative despite the challenges, and it gave me the flexibility to be myself. So I don't have to answer to anyone, despite I have to answer to all. And answer to all in the sense that what you do matters. Matters in the sense that it will either complement your husband, or at the same time you become a body. So you have to be really careful. And one of the things that have really helped me is to lead with my heart. And I've done that most of the time, and maybe because of age and all that, and maturity over the time, I can really sense, and all the places I've served, I'll be talking about that tomorrow, and it has given me quite a little bit of experience. But the challenge there is always financial. In a country like that, how do you now come up? But you know, whatever it is, it has its blessing, especially when people trust you and see the work you do and help keep coming. And I love that, because I remember the first time I made a donation towards tuberculosis. There are a lot of things I didn't know that still exist, especially health-wise with HIV/AIDS. I know when we were younger, HIV/AIDS was all over. I didn't know about HIV/AIDS again until I got into offline, and I learned that we have to do programs to, advocacy programs on HIV/AIDS. And there's a program I also got in Zimbabwe during ICASA. So I learned about HIV/AIDS, syphilis, and hepatitis. And what is so interesting, any these meetings in Africa, when they're talking about the prevalence in sub-Saharan Africa, they look at Nigeria. And why? Because of our population. It's like we have the highest body tuberculosis, all the ones. So one of the things that I did was, whatever I have, I invested into that. Because I remember donating a large sum for the prevention of tuberculosis, and also on HIV/AIDS, syphilis, and hepatitis, and also maternal health. And it's quite interesting, and also cervical cancer. So many things that keep coming up. And I look at other areas like Wives of Fallen Heroes, because they say my husband is the commander-in-chief. So I believe that I have to look into the military, and those are areas that you try to give as little as you can financially to help other people. It might not mean much to you, it might mean a world to another person. So that's what don't be afraid to give your little. It could be a lifesaver. And then we look at people with disabilities, so they are there. So what do you now do? So being a first partner is like you just come with all the problems in your country, and it's like deal with them. So you just have to deal with it and be courageous about it. I'm so glad to be here and listen to all the women and to learn, because you can never stop learning. And I think you stop learning when you're down. So being an educator and a lifelong teacher, I've always known to always learn. There's always something to learn, even from the little girls. You see just the way she's looking, you learn something. So I'm really glad to be here, and thank you so much, Senator Cora, for the opportunity.
Before you begin, Ms. Molino, I apologize for not introducing you as the current president of the Latin American First Ladies Network. So congratulations on that position, and we are very honored to have you with us.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Really, I don't know. It's better for me to talk in English or in Spanish, because my English is not good. Okay. I understand Portuguese right now, so maybe I can talk in Spanish, and maybe you understand. I am not going to talk too much also, because I have also a presentation, so I don't have to talk too much. But we have 1 year to be first lady in Panama. In these first years, we try to do all to take the same programs that the first lady before had. Okay, we don't destroy that work. We try to continue because it is important. But also, we know another problems, in the time you visit another place of the country. So we introduce new programs with the autism. We also we buy a new bus or car, a big car, for help to people vision and hear, and we put the name of the car there, your lip. I don't know in English how is the name. We are visiting all the school, to know the children that they can learn because they can read or they can hear, they cannot hear very well. And also we have a program with animals. We are going to make a sterilization
this animal that is in the street. We have in 1 year, we made 10,000 stimulation around our country. That is like never do it before, because the health of the animals, we want to be care for them. My husband want to make a hospital, a veterinary hospital in Panama, new one. So we are trying to help him like this. Our first, our office have money for that programs. The other money, we have to make it, okay? And we try, we make it a big gala. We found with that big gala, like around $500,000. That right now we are going to make in this second year's a new program. I will tell you after. But I am glad to be here and to hear everybody. My English is not good, my Spanish is better. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good morning, my dear sisters, first ladies of the world. My name is Fatima Marabio. I am the First Lady of the Republic of Sierra Leone, and I'm currently the President of African First Ladies for Development. This is a narrative that is so difficult to answer when you talk about what is the expectation of First Ladies and what is it that we need to do to be able to navigate our new position. Before becoming First Lady of Sierra Leone, I was an actress. And you know what that means. I'm an attention seeker. As an actress, you demand and you expect people to give. Being a First Lady is a totally different ballgame. It is you that now gives, and it is you that now gives the attention rather than seek the attention. So, I've been First Lady for 7 years, and I've managed to navigate. When I came in as a First Lady of Sierra Leone, at that point I was the youngest First Lady, and I had a great mentor, Monica, who mentored me and changed me from being the attention seeker to the attention giver. And today I would say in the last 7 years I started a campaign called the Hands Off Our Girls campaign, and I have navigated through that campaign where we have managed to ban early marriage in Sierra Leone. It is now illegal to marry a child in Sierra Leone under the age of 18, which is now law. And we've managed to change policies, a whole lot of policies in favor of women. Through the campaign, we now have 30% of women, which is by law, 30% of women in elected position and appointed position should be given to women. So in our parliament, we have 30% of women in all legislative positions, presidential appointments, ministers, ambassadors, all over the world. 30% of that are women, and it is now constitutional. Through this campaign also, I've managed to present a case at the United Nations. We've got 2 resolutions at the United Nations. One is access to justice for rape victims. So today, rape victims, when they go to court, it is actually the system that should pay their legal fee instead of the victim paying for their own legal fee. Before now, victims has to pay for their legal fee to go to court. and that deprives them, and they become a victim twice. They've been raped, and then they victimize them through paying for their own legal fee, and they have to prove that indeed they were raped, instead of the perpetrator proving that they are innocent. It is the victim who has to prove that they've been raped. And I also came back to the United Nations and asked for a World Day, which was granted November 18th, was granted for the prevention of healing from child sexual exploitation, abuse, and violence. And I chose that day because in most cases, rape victims do have justice, but they don't heal. They don't heal at all. They have the justice, but they don't heal. And I feel by them having a day where they can commemorate, congregate, and be able to speak to one another, be able to start a new networking system. And I felt, we could go to the United Nations and get the United Nations to pass a day. November 18 also is a Human Rights Day. So the United Nations decided to combine the two. So we're talking about human rights of women, and at the same time, healing of sexual violence women. During these 7 years also, I've been appointed as the champion for adolescent girls and young women for education by UNAIDS, and also one of the advisory board members for the UN Secretary General Eminent Person on Zero Waste. These are just some of the achievements I've managed to get in the last 7 years. But collectively, when you talk about First Ladies, it is a very challenging title, because the expectation on First Ladies are enormous. Everybody believes that the First Lady has a solution to every problems in the world. And even when somebody else does something, it is the First Lady's fault. I was just reading a statement that was a press release from our parliament just now on FGM, and everybody is tagging me as if I should be the one. I don't run the law. It's Parliament who pass those laws. They vote on these things, but now they expect that the First Lady had to change what Parliament have said. We're talking about over 100 people who sits in Parliament and decided that this is the direction they want to go. But they're not telling the President to go back to Parliament and say, President, you should talk to your parliamentarian. They're expecting me as First Lady to be the one to go to Parliament. So in the last 7 years, my focus has been on gender-based violence. My focus has been on rape, because I say this everywhere. I'm not only a victim of early marriage, but understanding what it means to be forced into a marriage that you don't want. So I don't speak from somebody else's hymn sheet. I speak from my own experience. And I feel like early marriage is a form of legalizing rape. They're using the title early marriage to legalize somebody having sex with you without your consent. And that's the reason why I've spent so much time on that campaign since my teenage years. That is what I have focused on as an actress. That is what I've campaigned against. And when I had the opportunity in having this platform, that is what has been my focus. But now, as we've been appointed, myself and my dear sister here, Anna, who is the deputy for the vice president for the African First Ladies, our mandate is to focus on climate change and peace and security. So I'm now beginning to rebrand the things that I wanted to do, because everything that I needed to do when it comes to forced early marriage, I have done, to a point where just last year we've banned early marriage in Sierra Leone. So I can only now find a way of making sure the laws stick, and then people start to understand and keep as many girls as possible in school, because when they are educated, they will not be forced into any form of early marriage. It is ignorancy that also allow young girls to be forced into early marriage, and they allow themselves to sit there. So for now, with given the rising global challenges and on gender-based violence and climate change, I feel education should be prioritized, digital access for women should be prioritized, and we should also look at mental health, because we have a whole lot of people with mental health issues globally, but no one is addressing that, or only few people are addressing that. So if we're talking about child protection and child safety, we need to strengthen legal and social protection system for these children. And the reason why, children face abuse silently, we have children that are being trafficked and they are exploited globally. It is not just one continent. That is a global problem right now. And I feel like we need to look at children's safety and their protection. We also need to look at early childhood development. We need to promote access to quality learning, nutrition, and health care. Because the child's first 5 years of life, that is when you can help that child to survive. Because that is just, especially for Africa, that is just one step of survival before they even begin to live. And I think that's something we should begin to look at in our continent. Of course, education. There is no way any continent or country will thrive and succeed if they don't have an educated population. Education should not be prioritized for only men. We should get as many girls as possible into school and keep them in school, because the more educated women we have, the better our society will become. So I feel education should be a priority for every First Lady, especially after COVID-19. It's like we're sliding down after COVID-19 in terms of education, in terms of keeping women in school. Again, mental health, like I said, we have to look at mental health. A lot of people are going through trauma silently, and that is really affecting their mental situation, and I think we should pay attention to that. And empowering our children to be agents of change. Most children can be a fantastic child if they have the opportunity to thrive at a very early age. And we need to be able to identify some of these and make them role models in their communities so that they'll be able to be the game changer that we're looking for. Digitalization. The world is moving so fast, and not too many women know how to use technology. We have to try and get women into digitalization. We have to get the youths in understanding that the world that we live today, you can only navigate through this world if you know how to use technology, because technology is not going backward anymore. We're going forward in terms of technology. So how do we access technology for women and our young youths? Climate resilience and green empowerment. Every day, disaster happening around the world globally. Every day, there is a catastrophe. And when we have this problem, it is more of the women and children who suffers. So I think we should look at climate resilience, and we should look at green empowerment for women and children. I mean, my most fantastic topic for the last 7 years has been menstruation. Menstruation has been one of the greatest taboo in Africa or globally. Nobody wants to talk about menstruation, but yet still we see our menstruation. And I've campaigned on that platform. I introduced free sanitary pad for girls going to school, and today we have more girls in school, more girls in universities. We have more girls, even though, yes, with the introduction of sanitary pad, we then have a president who believes in women empowerment that introduced free quality education. So if a girl have free quality education, they have no reason to not be in school. Most girls were missing out of school 84 days a year because of menstruation. Now with free sanitary pads, they are in school. They have no reason not to be in school. And we now have, the girls are leading in all public examination. We have more girls in universities. We have more girls doing STEM subjects in our country. And I think menstrual hygiene is something that we need to talk about. We need to let our girls know it is not a crime to see your menstruation. And when you do see your menstruation, you should even be proud that you are on your menstruation, because that's telling you you are not pregnant. So we have to talk to our girls. Even where you mess your clothes in front of men, tell them when you want to go to toilet, you don't ask my permission. So if I want to see my menstruation, I do not need your permission. That has been my campaign, and that is a campaign that I want to continue to do. And I think First Ladies can also amplify that in terms of making sure the rights of women seeing their menstruation and reproductive rights are, they need to be aware. When we advocate, when First Lady speaks, these young women, they listen. And I hope we can also take this and make it one of our umbrellas and champion them. Of course, the healing and the mental health support, I've said too many people. My husband will say in Africa, you don't know somebody has mental health until they remove their clothes and start running in the street. That's when we now said they have a mental health. So I'm hoping that we can start to look at depression and things that actually lead to mental health, rather than wait until the person has their situation. Finally, for me, we are gathered here as cross-continental First Ladies. We are from a different continent. And the sisterhood that we build in a program like this should not only be us meeting here, but then we should be able to communicate from to one another. We should be able to support one another. It doesn't mean because you are in South America or you are in the Caribbean, I cannot come and support you when you are doing something, or you cannot come and support me when I am doing something. So I'm looking forward to more collaboration. Beyond just First Ladies of Africa, but more collaboration within the Southern America and the Caribbean First Ladies. Finally, myself and Anna, our mandate is peace and conflict resolution. We all know where there is war, it is women that suffers. They use sex as a weapon of war today, and we need to talk about it. Silence is telling people that we accept it. We need to use our platforms, we need to use our voices to let the world know it is not the women who creates the war, and the women should not be the one who pays for the war. So that is what I will bring to the floor, and ask that First Lady, as we have our many, many challenges, as we have our many, many campaigns, we should also look at peace and security for our women and children globally. Thank you very much.